Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. There are no words today. Definitely no. I have 2-3 questions, but I don't know if I remember them also now. One was like intelligence. I had a question like we have positive and negative emotions within us, like qualities like jealousy, greed, then generosity. So actually, whom does these qualities belong? To the mind or to the intelligence? Like, I had that question. And how do we that with japa we can control them? But I want to know more about that, those qualities, just to become a better person so that we live a positive life.
There is a fable where of a good dog and a bad dog. So they say that we have a good dog and a bad dog within us. And the bad dog barks, and most of our bad dogs are much more powerful. Wow, wow, wow! Like that. Sorry, my real propensity came out. But the good dog is like, me, please be generous. Please don't envy. Like that, like that. Because right now the good dog is starving. It doesn't have that. But the bad dog is, of lust, pride, greed is very, very strong. And so intelligence is sometimes finds very difficult to control this bad dog. And so if the intelligence, by our intelligence, if the soul feeds the good dog within our mind, and the good dog becomes hefty, and at the same time starves the bad dog, starves those emotions, then negative emotions, then the good dog will be more powerful. And when the bad dog will, and good dog says, no, forgiveness, like that. So then his words we will listen much more. So it's all about that's how addictions happen. We feed the bad dog, it becomes powerful. Feeding meaning listening to, acting upon what the bad dog is saying. Once we act upon what the bad dog is doing, we are feeding it, and it becomes more powerful. The next time it barks, it's more, and we listen to it, more powerful, more powerful. And then it becomes an addiction that even if we don't want to listen to it, we are forced to, because it's so powerful, so strong. But if we can somehow or other, by help of other devotees in the association, or with the help of our intelligence, feeding it Bhagavad Gita and the instructions and all of that, starve it. It says something, we say, no, I'm not going to act on it. And feed the good dog, then slowly, we can come out of addiction. But yeah, that's the whole idea. I
Nice,
hope that.
Prabhuji. Very nice. Yeah. Very nicely explained.
Yes, those are actually the impressions in the mind created by different activities that we may have done in the previous lives. So those impressions are there. We may not exactly remember the activity, but the impression of that activity is staying with us. And so these positive, negative emotions is determined by our previous lives, what the impressions are. So these impressions are in the mind. And as we said, if you were seen a couple of days ago, we had the photograph of a chariot where the driver of the chariot, he's the intelligence, and the reins are the mind. The intelligence control the mind. Because of these positive negative impressions, in a moment it throws up hundreds of thoughts, but it's the intelligence which decides which thought to go with. Now if the intelligence is weak, meaning if the driver is not well fed, it's not strong, then what will happen? The reins will go loose and it cannot control the senses. So we have to make our intelligence strong. By how do we make the intelligence strong? By reading Bhagavad Gita, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, by associating with devotees in a way that not just social association, but serving them and learning from them. Then the intelligence becomes strong. Krishna says, reading Bhagavad Gita is worshipping me by intelligence. In Bhagavad Gita itself, he says that. So we make the intelligence strong, and then the intelligence can say, even those negative thoughts may come, intelligence is strong enough to discriminate and say, no, I will not act upon it. I will act upon the positive emotion. And then slowly, slowly, the the more we feed the positive emotions, and starve the negative emotions, they will go down. It's like in the West Indian way, in the
Because actually it was related to heart and brain only. Like we normally use the sentence, like we think by the heart and not act by the brain. So I am not able to relate, we actually do that, or it is just a scene. Like
yeah, when we
normally
say
we,
heart and brain, heart is actually referring to mind, and brain is referring to intelligence, because brain is the seat of intelligence. Of course, if the surgeons open up our brains, they won't be able to see intelligence, because intelligence cannot be seen. It's a very subtle matter. But it's the brain is the seat of intelligence. So that's why sometimes, and heart is the seat of the mind. I mean, it's some say that the mind is of the same form as the entire body. So a dog's mind would be the form of a dog. A human's mind would be the form. But irrespective of that, the yeah, heart typically refers to the mind, and brain typically refers to intelligence. Because
thank you Prabhuji, thank you.
modern psychology does not understand the concept of soul, and in fact, it considers soul, intelligence, and mind as mind itself many times. So if we are
Okay.
comparing modern psychology with Vedic psychology in Bhagavad Gita and other places, Vedic psychology has much more detailed functionalities of what differences between mind, intelligence, falsito, and the soul. Whereas, at least, modern psychology just focuses on mind and considers all of these as mind.